Most of us think of our air conditioner as, well, just another appliance, right? Kind of like a toaster or a fridge. But we're going to completely reframe that today. For this explainer, I want you to think of it as a soldier fighting a relentless, invisible war inside your home 24/7. And trust me, understanding that war is the very first step to winning it.
So let's just kick things off with a simple question. Is your air conditioner secretly at war? And the answer, especially if you live somewhere with a demanding climate, is a resounding yes. Understanding the nature of that war is absolutely the key to keeping your home comfortable. And let's be honest, your wallet happy.
Okay, so every war has a battlefield. And for your HVAC system, that battlefield is the brutal, unforgiving climate it has to operate in every single day. Let's really look at the conditions your system is up against. So in places like Central Florida, summer temps consistently, day in and day out, hit 95 degrees. That's just the baseline. That's the everyday enemy that your system has to push back against for months on end. But wait, it actually gets worse. When you factor in that crushing humidity, that 95 degrees can feel like 110. And that feels like temperature. That's what your system is actually fighting. It's not just heat. It's this heavy, moisture-soaked heat that is so much harder to remove. And here is the real kicker. This isn't just some short summer battle. In these regions, the cooling season lasts 8 to 10 months. That's nearly triple the workload of a system in a northern climate. It's a full-on marathon, not a sprint, and it's fought at maximum intensity the entire time. So this constant, relentless assault, it leads to some pretty predictable casualties. Your system's enemies, they use the climate as their main weapon, and that leads to a few very, very common types of failures. Let's break down the enemy's tactics. First up, the clogged condensate drain. See, your AC is basically a giant dehumidifier, and it's pulling gallons of water out of the air. This little drain is supposed to get all that water safely outside, but when it clogs up, that water has nowhere to go, except, you guessed it, back into your house.
So what causes this mess? Well, here's the irony. It's the very humidity the AC is fighting against. That constant moisture creates this perfect, dark, damp environment inside the drain lines, and it's a perfect breeding ground for algae and sludge. It just grows and grows until it causes a blockage. The system's own hard work literally creates the conditions for its failure. All right, next on the hit list, the failed capacitor. The easiest way to think of a capacitor is like a spark plug for your AC's biggest motors. It gives that powerful jolt of energy they need to get the compressor and the fans spinning. Without it, the system is totally dead in the water. And why do they fail so often? It's just pure, brutal heat stress. That outdoor unit, just sitting there baking in the 95-degree afternoon sun, the inside of that unit can easily reach over 120 degrees. This extreme heat literally cooks the capacitor from the inside out, causing it to weaken and eventually just give up. This is, hands down, the single most common summer repair in hot climates. And oh, the list of casualties just goes on. You've got dirty coils that get choked with sand and dust, basically suffocating your system like a thick blanket. You have undersized units, a lot of times a cost-cutting trick in new homes, that are forced to run themselves into an early grave. And of course, let's not forget about those classic afternoon thunderstorms, which can send a power surge that just fries all the sensitive electronics. So when your system inevitably takes a hit on the battlefield, you're faced with a huge strategic decision. Do you patch up your soldier and send them back to the front lines? Or is it time for a full replacement? Well, there's a really simple rule of thumb that can help. This is the question every homeowner dreads. Pouring more and more money into an old, failing system just feels awful, but a brand new unit is a major, major investment. So how do you make the smart financial call without letting your emotions get in the way? Okay, here's a simple little formula to take all the emotion out of it. It's called the $5,000 rule. All you do is take the age of your system in years and you multiply it by the cost of the repair you were just quoted. If that number you get is over $5,000, it's a very strong sign that you should probably put that repair money towards a new system instead. And this example just illustrates it perfectly. So a 12-year-old system, especially in a tough climate, is already getting near the end of its life. Now, a $500 repair might seem reasonable on its own, but when you do the math, 12 times 500, you get $6,000. That's over the $5,000 threshold, and it's a huge red flag that this is probably just the first of many expensive repairs on a dying unit. Okay, so we've looked at the battlefield, and we've talked about how to handle the casualties, but the best strategy of all? It's building a strong defense.
It's time to shift our thinking from being reactive to being proactive. We really need to stop thinking of maintenance as just another chore on the weekend to-do list. It's not. Think of it like boot camp. It's how you arm and reinforce your system, not just to survive the summer, but to fight more efficiently, which, by the way, saves you money on your energy bills every single month. And this chart, wow, this shows you exactly why that defense is so critical. A system in Florida might only last 12 to 15 years, but the exact same model could run for over 20 years up north. That constant operation and humidity just speeds up the wear and tear on every single component, which makes proactive care completely non-negotiable. So your defensive strategy really boils down to these key tactics. Cleaning the coils, that's like giving your soldier clean lungs to breathe. Clearing out that condensate drain, that prevents the self-sabotage we talked about earlier. And changing your filters every month or two, come on, that is the easiest, cheapest way to improve your home's air quality and prevent a whole host of really expensive problems down the line. So, after all this, what does victory actually look like? It looks like taking control. It's about shifting your mindset from being a victim of the climate to being the commander of your home's comfort. The ultimate takeaway here is this: knowledge is your command. By understanding the war your system is fighting, by recognizing the tactics of its common enemies, and by knowing when to repair versus when to replace, you are now in charge. You can make smart, confident decisions instead of panicked, expensive ones. So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. Your home's climate system is one of the hardest working, most expensive, and most critical parts of your daily life. It runs constantly to protect you. The real question is, are you giving it even 1% of the attention that it deserves?